Hello and welcome back to my channel. This video today is going to be a little bit different. Oh, bye then. Never work with horses and, well, not horses, animals and children, isn't it? Never perform how you want them to when you need them. Yeah, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. Oh, you're back again. I'm going to be sharing some of my time-saving tips. Now, the reason I wanted to do this is I know there's a lot of fellow questions out there who, like me, work full-time, have a horse, maybe more, and have to juggle that with family life, friends, just general adulting, and work, and yeah, and always seem to be rushing around all over the place. So over the years I've been hopefully fine-tuning and honing my skills, although I still manage to lose time, don't we? And ways to save time, so it means you can gain those precious minutes back so you're home in time for dinner, and have time to do some other things, or even if it's just relaxing after a hard day at work. Right, better crack on and let's give you those tips. Okay, so for the first tip I am going to give you is one of my favourites, and that's batch cooking. It's something I do every weekend, which sets me up for the week and saves me time in the week when obviously I've been at work all day and I've got to juggle all of that, work, home, and the horses. You may wonder why I'm in the feed shed. That's because one of the things I do at the weekend is I batch cook Lola and Sky's feeds, and I put them all in my old supplement tubs, use for them, and that then means in the week when I've finished riding, it's like 7:45, I'm thinking I need to get home quickly. That just saves precious minutes, because in there is the chaff that they have, which is base feed, and the supplements they have, and it takes me 2 seconds, pour it in the feed bowl, add a bit of water, give them a feed. So yeah, saving vital minutes there. The other thing that I will be doing later is I batch cook my lunches for the week. So that then means I've got food with me at work that all I need to do is ping in the microwave for a few minutes and it's warm and ready to eat. Now there's a few positives to that. One, I've always got something nutritious to eat. I'm not eating crisps and chocolate all the time at lunch. It saves me money because I'm not, well yeah, it does save me money, comes out in a minute. It saves me time because I'm not having to go to the shop in my lunch break, which means I get my full lunch break, which gives me time to relax from staring at the screen for the morning. And then, like I said, it saves me money because it means I'm not spending £3.50 every day on one of those meal deals or anything else. Each of my meals tends to cost about £1 to £2 per portion. It also saves me money because it means I'm not wasting food. I'm probably using everything I cook up, because if I'm not specifically cooking my lunches, I can make bigger batches of the dinners, and they can also go in the freezer to be reheated again another time. Key tip there though is if you put them in the freezer, remember to take them out the night before, so when you get to work you're not having to wait for them to defrost. So now I've done my feeds, that actually leads nicely onto my next tip, which is online shopping, because I get all my supplements for the horses from Vet. And that's really convenient for me because it means I don't need to drive off somewhere different to the what am I talking about, from the feed shop. There we go. You know, I can just sit at home and do it in my, like when I've got 5 minutes, quick order, really easy, and it gets delivered to home, so I don't need to think, oh, I need to go to the shop today. So that saves me some time. I also do my grocery shopping online, because that means no going to the supermarket and having to fight the crowds. It also means actually I save a little bit of money on both, because the supplements are slightly cheaper online than they are in the shop, and also with the grocery shopping I'm not spotting tasty things that I want to add to my basket. It's in with my list, done, out. And again, I can do that in an evening, and it gets delivered to my house in a designated slot, the groceries that is, gets delivered, designated slot, so it's there, all done, and I don't need to think about it. I also do lots of other things online. Quite often buy books online because I'm a bit of a bookworm. What else? All sorts of things online. I think the only thing I probably don't really buy online is clothing, just because we like to try it on. But sometimes if I've tried it on in a shop, I will then go and order online as well. If it's like I want another colour, or they didn't have my size, so I know what size I need, blah blah blah. But also shopping online, another positive and slightly money saving, I know this is time saving but money saving as well, is you can always find the coupon codes as well. You can always have a look around and find coupon codes. Good old Google, brand name, coupon code, and you're going to probably find something. But yeah, so time saving tip, online shopping. On to the next one. Okay, so slight change of location. Outside Sky's stable, although she's more interested in a hay net than me and what I'm up to. Surprise, surprise. So yeah, for my next tip, it's going to be share the load. That's the one. Share the load. So there's a few things you can do here. So this can be as much as a full share situation. So it's a bit like I've got Sky. She's on a share situation with a riding school, which means I can treat it a bit like my own, but then she's also in the riding school, so everything's half price. She does have to do lessons, and we sort of work it out between us, the days she has lessons, the days I ride and things like that, and it works out okay, doesn't it, Sky? But yeah, as I say, it means I've got less time, so if there's days I can't ride, if she's had a lesson or they're putting her out, great. I'm not mucking out 2 horses as well every day. Yeah, or that's my option. You can also go into a private share, I guess, where you have someone else, it's just 2 of you, sort of looking after your horse, riding your horse. And then you can go as simple as if you just swap days with a fellow livery. So that could be you do the mucking out Monday nights, they do the mucking out Tuesday nights, and it just gives you both a night with more time to either ride or spend at home if there's things you've got to do, or catch up on work. So yeah, a sharing opportunity is definitely a great way to bring back time and a little bit of money as well. So another bonus money saving one there for you too. Yeah, and it can just save you all the rushing around trying to deal with 1 or 2 or 3 or however many you've got, because we all know horses like chocolates. Once you've have one, you can't just stop there, can you? Right, on to the next tip. Right, so tip number 4. This will be, for me, it's definitely one that really helps me, is stay organised. Love a to-do list, love planning my day, love planning my week, to some extent planning the month. I'm not always quite ahead with that because things change and stuff, and I don't like scribbling it all out, but just planning it ahead really, whether that's what I want to do with the girls in terms of riding, or whether it's in terms of what I need to do at work, or other chores I need to do like clean tack and yeah, various other things like that. Now there's one thing that really helps me with that is my appointment planner from Emily Cole Illustrations. I love this, and the reason I love this is because of the time blocking I can do. So it's a week to review, and each day has a column with time scale down the side, and I can block out my day, and it just, I don't know, I just like doing that. It's something I like doing, and it really helps me, and I can be like, right, these things I'm going to work on. It's then also got space for to-do lists. I'll see if I can get some pictures in here of the pages. Space for to-do lists, other notes. It's also got a whole thing on goal setting as well in there, which is quite nice. So goals for the month, goals for the week and things like that. So that is really useful. I love setting a goal. Whether I get them or not is another thing, but I love setting a goal and having something to work towards. Yeah, so it saves me time because I know what I'm doing. I don't have to sit and go, oh, what should I do? I just get on with it because it's all written down. So I know what I've got to do. I also know where I'm going to be, so if I can combine things, so like if I know the feed shop's near work, then I will go to the feed shop near work, and that kind of thing. And it just means I'm not driving backwards and forwards. It means I don't forget things, so I'm busy, you know, having to retrace my steps and remember to do things I haven't done. It also means I get, because I'm focused and I'm not wondering, there's none of those blockers that I put in place. I go, right, task 1 on my list, task 2, and yeah, okay, you have to take time to do the task, but because you get them done, and you get them done methodically, I guess is the word I'm looking for, you feel like you've got more time. You're like, oh, I felt very productive, I've done all that this morning, I can have the afternoon doing not a lot. Yeah, so that was my tip, stay organised. Okay, it's back at Lola's stable for this tip. So this one is a simple one, and I think it's often a little bit overlooked, but it's keeping those things that you use all the time outside your stable. Obviously I've got some shavings, we need them all the time because you're a mess, aren't you? You're a big mess, yes. But one of the things that I always keep outside my stable, because you're always going to need it when your horse is in the stable, head collar. I've got a fly mask for the summer months. I've also got my grooming kit down there, and these are things that when you're in the stable you always need, whether that's a brush, hoof pick, head collar to take them to the farrier or turn them out. And it just saves those precious minutes, especially if, like me, you're on a reasonable sized yard and you've got a bit of a walk to go and find them. Just saves you those precious minutes getting your chores done, doesn't it? Saves you precious minutes, so you can spend more time messing with you. Yeah, there's other things you can keep outside your stable. I know there's some yards where people keep almost their whole lives outside their stable, again, quick and easy. And I know, yes, it depends on the yard you're at. You know, some allow it, some don't. Some have nice lockers outside the stables, and I've even seen recently, like, some nice products where you can hang it on the wall and it's got little pockets to put things in. Actually, to be fair, a shoe, you know, one of those old-fashioned shoe hanger things that you used to get with all the pockets you can slip your shoes in. Don't know if you remember them. I'll try and insert a picture here. That could also work. But yes, as I said, it's down to how your yard works, how big your yard is. If you've got a small yard, you might not need to. But I find for me it's just nice knowing head collar's there, I can grab it, because it's always a case of, oh, bring Lola around for the farrier. Oh, okay. And I just literally grab head collar and it's done. Oh, chuck Lola out in the field. Done. It's there. The key thing is, though, as well, is to remember to put them back so you're not hunting for them. So the head collar is always hanging up there. Grooming kit is always put back in the box. Yeah, that is also part of it, because it means you're not spending time searching for it and wondering where you last had it and retracing your steps, hey dolls. Right, stop it. Right, on to the next one. So, there's a reason I'm in my car. One, it's just started raining. Two, I'm about to head off. And it's actually linked with this next tip. And that is to make use of dead time. So as I said, I work full time. I have a 20 to 30 minute drive to work. And that gives me a great opportunity to actually do some things. Now, yes, you've got to concentrate on driving. Yes, set it all up before you start. And yes, have Bluetooth on your phone and your car. But there's a couple of things I do. I have made phone calls in the past. So just before I set off, I've started the phone call. I've got controls on my phone, on my steering wheel to hang up. So it's all good, all safe and legal. So I've made some phone calls, whether that's to book an appointment for something or just to catch up with someone. And also the other thing I do is listen to podcasts. And these actually can be educational. So one I'm enjoying at the moment is the Decomplicating Dressage podcast, which has given me lots of tips and tricks from a dressage. So yeah, that's one bit of dead time I make use of. Another is having, again, linked to your phone and Bluetooth, a hands-free headset. So again, I can listen to podcasts while mucking out, make phone calls when mucking out. When I was doing my equine sports massage and I had to learn course and I had to learn all the muscles, my mum was on the other end with a copy of the sheet for revision. Lots of use there. And so that's a good one. Also arranging hacks with friends, especially if they're horsey, catching up with friends whilst exercising your horse. Okay, that's not necessarily dead time as such, bit of multitasking going on there. And another one is things like waiting for the kettle to boil. You probably stood next to a kitchen counter or a wall or something like that. Could you make use of it to do a little bit of stretching? I do sometimes. Yeah, so I'm sure you've got little bits of dead time in your day. Oh, waiting for an appointment. So if you're in the doctor's waiting room, I quite often read. Now that obviously for me is often pleasure, but I know people who read for, you know, work purposes and things like that, or learning. Again, commute if you don't drive, if you get the train or a bus. Again, quite often, I know not everyone's lucky enough to be able to read on a moving vehicle, but you could read on your commute as well. Yeah, just if you can think of any points where you're stood there waiting, or you could be doing something else at the same time because of hands-free equipment and things like that, then make use of it. It just saves, again, those few minutes that can help you out, or it gives you as I say, a little bit of downtime. So I say, waiting the reception of the doctors, you can read, or if you're on the commute on the train, you can read. It actually gives you a chance to relax for half an hour maybe. Well, I hope you're not waiting for half an hour on the doctors, but you know what I mean. It just gives you a little chance to relax or catch up on something. Okay, next tip. So, on to my 7th and final tip. Lola's decided to come over and join me. Now, I want to just caveat with this with, hear me out on this one. So, the final tip is rest. Now, you might think, oh, but that means we're not moving forward, we're not doing anything. But actually, I find rest is really important to help you make those steps you need to make. So, 2 parts to this. The first one, hence the reason I'm with Lola in the field. By the way, this is our winter field. We've not quite turned over to summer turnout yet. Not far away are we low, so that's why it's not looking great. There is some grass down the end there. But yeah, so rest. First part for your horse. Your horse doesn't need to be ridden every day. You know, they're quite happy as long as they've got a field to stretch their legs in and spend some time just relaxing. They're quite happy, they don't need to be ridden, and we need to, as we question, stop that guilt we don't ride. So we can even give them longer than just a day or 2. You can give them a week or a month even. They're not going to forget everything. They're not silly. Well, they are silly, but they have got some brain cells in there, so they're not going to forget everything you've been doing in the training. So there's no need to worry about that. But also, giving them the rest makes their bodies feel good. But also, it gives you the time back to get on with those chores that you've been putting off because you've got to ride, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. So with them out in the field, you can go and fix fencing, do all the tidying up you need to do for the winter, or from the winter, should I say, like clean the stables out and everything else. Also, just turnout in general is good for them, good for their minds. And again, even just daily turnout, if they're out all day, it means you can muck out when you get only muck out one end of the day. Yeah, so that's part 1. The second part is rest for yourself. So if you are feeling, well, shall I say, if you ever got to stables, felt like everything's going wrong, your riding's going wrong, you keep messing up when you're doing your chores, forgetting things, bye Lows, and just generally feel like you're wading through treacle, nice example there. You're wading through treacle trying to get everything done, and it's taking twice as long. It's me on a Friday evening after being at work a week. That's because you're lacking in energy probably. So looking after yourself, making sure you have plenty of rest, whether that's sleep, just putting your feet up, again turning the horse out and not riding because that zaps energy from you, doesn't it? And just generally looking after yourself is going to give you that energy back, and you're going to suddenly find you're blitzing through those jobs you've got to do. You're not making silly mistakes, you're not forgetting things, and generally you're just a lot more productive, giving you a bit more time back. So yeah, that was my final tip. Okay, so I hope you found those tips useful, and I would love if you've got any great time saving tips to let me know in the comments below, or if you already do any of those tips I've already given, yeah, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the tips, don't forget to give a thumbs up, and if you don't already, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm going to have a money saving tips one coming out soon as well, and you won't want to miss that one. Yeah, so thank you again for watching, and I will catch up with you all soon.